my name is Max, and let's get ready for Debate Pro Junior 2. Get your books and pencils ready because we will learn today about testing your teachers. Are you ready? Alright, so let's go to Unit 2 on page 17. So, letting students grade teachers. What does that mean? Now, in Canada, for example, at the end of the session, the semester, students can actually grade teachers. That's right. Why do in Canada or America or any other countries, why do we grade teachers? Now, what does grading mean? Grading someone. So grade, of course you get a grade when you do test, but when you do a grade you get a score, right? So when you get a score, it's like a review on how well you did. Now, what if your teacher, Max, gets a grade, gets a score on how well I performed? Let's say, oh, I got 9 on 10. What does that mean? It means I got a review from you. When I got the review, it's because I will think about how I can get that one that I can reach to 10. How can I can get that extra point? So what it means is feedback. Feedback is information that I got from your review, and it allows me to be better, allows me to develop my weakness and how I can teach you better in class. Alright, without further ado, let's just jump to the questions. Who is your favorite teacher at school? Is it me? Alright, so we don't want to know more about the have one, the academy here, but let's figure it out. Who is your favorite teacher at your school? It could be your math, your English teacher, science teacher. There's always a favorite one. Let's say my favorite teacher was Mrs. Dory when I was in high school, because every time I ask a question, she would answer me so nicely, and it makes me so motivated. So let's go to number 2 here. Do your school teachers help you learn? It's not visible. Help you learn, yeah. Do your school teachers help you learn? I'm sure they always do, right? But the question is, how do they help you learn? And how good are they at helping you learn? We don't live in a perfect world. There's always positive and negative, strengths and weaknesses, and especially in every school, there's always some good points and then some negative ones. But let's take on the positive. I'm sure in your school, who is your favorite teacher? And how well do they teach you? Number 3, would you like to give grades to your teacher? Maybe yes, maybe not. I think I would definitely have the opportunity to grade my teacher and give them a score. Why or why not? Answer yourself those questions, and as soon as you come in person, we will answer them together, alright? Now, would you like to give grades to your teacher? Yes, I would love to give grades to my teacher because I want to tell them how great they are at teaching me English, and I think as a teacher, I think I'm going to love those reviews and those scores. But however, guys, I mentioned before, there could be a negative feedback. There could be a negative review on how you score a teacher. And this is how you will decide whether or not you want to score them or you don't want to score them. Some people or some schools prefer they do, and some don't. and we will talk about them later on in that chapter. Alright, now we're gonna read this together. Please follow up with me, okay? Should students be allowed to grade their teachers? So, do you guys think you should be allowed to grade me? Alright? Are you ready? A public school teacher's job is very important. I agree. Good teachers can help children love to learn. Now, I'm sure in my class, I know you guys very well, and when you behave, your behavior, your attitude in class, you're always energetic, you always want to talk, you want to ask questions as well, because it shows me that you care and you love to learn, you love to speak in English, and you love to debate. Now it's the same thing for here. Good teachers. I find myself as a good teacher to teach you guys because your behavior reflects. Good teachers can help children love to learn and be successful. Definitely. Unfortunately, so there's some bad news here, unfortunately, not all teachers are good. We don't live in a perfect world, and depending on the student, I also think that sometimes teachers cannot be good at what they do their job. Let's say if you go to a Burger King and a person who's making burger, well, they're doing a terrible job. So what you want to do is when I give them a score, you want to give them advice on how to be better. And sometimes, even though if it's a teacher, depending on the country, they give them a score that allows them to be better. That's why I mentioned in Canada or America, they actually give them a score at the end of the semester. To find the best teacher, so we want to find the best, some people think students should grade their teachers, but not everyone agrees. Now, it depends who agrees or who doesn't agree on if students should grade their teachers. Alright, so we're gonna go and jump into the argument. This was the introduction, and let's go ahead and jump for number one. Now, debate. What could the first one question here? Let students grade teachers. What do you guys think? Alright, the main benefit is that grading by students. So this is a benefit, right? Something positive, something good, something that is advantage. The main benefit is that grading by students will help. I 100% agree. If you guys give me a score or a feedback, I will love to. It's gonna allow me to be better all the time. Will help teacher improve. So if you give me something, I'm gonna improve more. For example, Patricia Wilkins is a kindergarten teacher in the US. She was graded by her students. So who is Wilkins? Patricia Wilkins? Yeah, she's a kindergarten teacher. Which country? Good listening. In the United States. And what happened? She was graded by her students. She said the grading was very helpful. So was it a good or bad thing? It was a good thing. It was helpful. It helped her develop more. She learned that half her students, so half the class, thought, so think, they thought that they did not learn enough in class. Oh, is that a good thing or nothing? I think it's a good thing, guys. It's feedback, remember? Feedback. It's information, it's a review. Is it positive or negative? Is it positive feedback or is it negative feedback? It's positive feedback. It helped Patricia Wilkins to be better. The student said that when Patricia Wilkins has taught the subject in class, they thought that it wasn't helpful. Let's see why. Because they didn't learn enough. She used that information to teach her student better. Wow, well there you go. Because she got her feedback, what did they do? They got her information and they collected it, which is data. Information, which is a feedback, and is it positive, negative? It's positive. Because they help the student, the teacher, how to be better. Second, so let's say here, what is the second supportive argument? Students deserve. So what is deserve here? So deserve means like to earn. They earn it. They earn, so for example, I'm doing a chores at home, remember chores? I'm doing a chore at home, like washing the dishes. Because I wash the dishes, I deserve something nice from my parents. Maybe I deserve a dollar because I did something good. I earned it. Same thing here. Students deserve a voice. So, deserve a voice means allowed to talk. Students spend 12 years or more learning from teachers. Yeah, you spend most of your time in school, all your life, quarter of your life at school, from teachers. If teachers are not helping students, so if teachers are not helping students, then they must have some input. What is input? Input is like information, but from you. What is your input on this subject? What do you think about this? It's a thought of information. So one more time. If teachers are not helping students, then they must have some input. Then they can change their learning environment. Let's check it out here. So I'm going to show you here a loop. Student. Who is this here? Teacher. Back to who? Student. What is the student sending here? So they're sending a message. What is the message they're sending? What is the voice they are sending? And to whom? That's right. The student is sending the message to the teacher. So that message is their input, their information. And that information is what? It's how I could be better, what I need to be better, how can I do things better? And that input goes to the teacher, and therefore, because of that input, the teacher will help her or himself understand how they can improve. Now, what is the teacher sending back to the student when they get the input? That's right. So, teacher send back, and it starts with R. It's a review. It's a feedback. Great. Max, teacher, can I learn about this subject more? Yes, no problem. I will see if I have more exercise. Max, teacher, could you speak louder in class? Absolutely. I will speak even more louder. Max, teacher, can you help me with this homework or question? Sure, I will come right away. So, everything that has input is basically information. That's why at the end of the year, students grade teachers, university, high school, even sometimes elementary school. And where does this happen? Well, it depends on the country. It depends on which country they actually grade and give them a score. In Canada, like example, they do grade teachers at the end of the year. What about your country? Do they do that in Korea? Do they actually grade teachers on how to improve better? Even though there's some positive, there are some negative. And let's talk about the other argument. First argument was, let students grade teacher. Second, that's right. Do not let students grade teachers. Yay, all right, let's check that out. To begin, so that's a good start. Students might not rate. Rating is just the same thing as a grade. Giving a score. Rate is like giving a score. Might not rate their teachers fairly. So, let's say there's a great teacher in your classroom. Fantastic, right? However, the student is angry because the student wants to play. Now, because the student wants to play and is angry and doesn't want to learn, the student will give a bad grade to the teacher. Do you think that's fair? I don't think so, right? Now, because of that consequences, the teacher is going to get a bad score because of a student. And that's not fair. That's why the argument goes both ways. Rate their teachers fairly. Students will use grading as a chance to get out their anger. Someone's angry. Oh, I don't like this teacher. Oh, I'm so angry. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give them a bad grade. But it's not fair. Students will use grading as a chance to get out their anger at a teacher. This is because students are too young to grade rationally. A great word to learn. Rationally. Comes from the word rational. Alright. What does it mean, rationally? It means think. It just means like logic. Decision with logic. Someone who makes a decision logically. With logic. This is how I would define rationally. Now, students are too young to grade rationally. How do we think about rational? Sometimes students are being emotional. And because of their emotional, I find that it's a barrier in front of them. It prevents making them logical decisions about their teachers. Because they're too emotional, they cannot make a good decision on how to grade a teacher. Second, grading by students usually does not show the teacher's ability. Of course, if you're grading about the teacher and you're angry, it's not gonna give feedback about their ability on how to do better. In one experiment, so this is an interesting experiment that I read, and I'm gonna read it now. Are you ready? In one experiment, an actor gave a false lecture. So I am an actor, and I was acting. I'm not actually a lecturer in medical, so I'm a doctor. Let's say I'm an actor pretending to be a doctor, and I'm giving you guys a lecture. Now, what happened is that student give a good grade to the actor, but the actor isn't a real doctor. It was just a lecture. It was just a discussion. He was giving presentation about a subject, but the actor doesn't know the subject, guys. Now, what made it different? He was, or she was, Exactly, was confident, assertive. That person was confident. So the actor fooled all the students and making them think that he knows the subject. But he doesn't know. He fooled them all. And because of that, the students give them a good grade. That's not fair, right? So it's subjective, it's broad. There's no right or wrong answer. Let's look at it here. Students are too young to grade rationally. Second, grading by the students usually does not show the teacher's ability. In one experiment, an actor gave a false lecture in front of a group of medical students. But the students gave him a good scores because he was so confident with his lecture. This shows that grading by students cannot always measure. That's right. Just because someone is confident, I don't know how to measure. Measure means like to calculate. Measure a teacher's ability accurately. What is accurately? Accurately, guys, is something specific. It's accurate. Something really in detail, very specific. Cannot always measure a teacher's ability accurately. Good. We have read that. Now let's look at the questions as a discussion. All right, let's check some vocabulary check first, and then we're going to do some comprehension questions, all right? Now, we have here input. Input, as I mentioned before, is information from a person. Can I have your input on this subject, please? What is deserve? That's right. Earned, to earn. If I do a good job, I'm going to deserve something special. Like chores, as from the last unit. If you take out the trash, then you're gonna deserve a good reward. Rationally. Rationally means, remember, logic with decision. How you make a decision logically. Confident. So I'm gonna say the word assertive. Someone who has strength. Into being more in speaking, for example. So let's say I'm here presenting. I'm really confident talking to you guys. So the power and the will to do something. Environment. So environment would be like an atmosphere. It could be a good or positive environment. It's something that is surrounding where you are, the location or the area. All right, a long vacation because you have worked so hard. So remember, like the chore, if you do the dishes, then you're gonna get a reward. Yeah, very good. You deserve. You deserve a long vacation because you have worked so hard. All right, number 2. All children should have a loving home. Great. Environment. Number 3. After the surgery, she felt about herself. Great. Confident. Number 4. I received lots of on my project. Which one would that be? So remember, when you do something of your project, you want to ask some advice or you want to get information. So you go see that person, right? And that person is going to give you input. Input is like information on how to do something better or something helpful. Great. Let's write that here. Input. Now we have number 5, but don't think this question is easy because it's the last one. right? I just want you guys to really understand this word because it's important. So remember, rationally, it's derived from the word rational. How to make a decision with logic. People usually act, so rationally. So here we have rationally, and make logical choices. You know, because it's dangerous out there sometimes for the corona, for example, the virus, and I'm gonna think logically, I'm gonna think rationally, and going outside and wear a mask. Because I'm wearing a mask, I'm thinking smart. Or, you know, if it's raining outside, it's really simple. If it's raining outside and I'm gonna make a smart decision that is logical, what I'm gonna bring? I'm gonna bring an umbrella, right? It's simple. All right, let's get to the next one. Comprehension question here. All right. What was the problem with Patricia Wilkins? So that would be her, the class, and which one should we choose here? So, okay, that's right. I'm gonna go check it. So, the students were not learning enough. So the problem is students in her class weren't learning enough, and then they give her feedback, and therefore she changed it, and maybe, you know, harder exercise, and the students learned better and improved. Why do students deserve a voice? Why do they earn to do something? And here it is because they spent a lot of time learning from teachers. And on the comprehension question is, on the story is how many years? 12 years of learning. Right. Number 3. Why might students not rate their teachers fairly? So why is that? Because they are afraid of their teachers' anger. Oh, that's right. Well, I think some teachers, if students rate me here poorly, well, you know what, maybe might be angry. But this is the perception of students. It means that that's what students see it that way. That's what they think. But I don't think so, because I think teachers will be, they won't get angry, and I think they're gonna be happy to see their weaknesses and make them better. Number 4, why did the medical students give the actor good teaching scores? So remember, the actor doesn't know their subject. They were acting, but they fooled the student. They make them think that the actor was a doctor, but he isn't. So therefore, the students give them a good grade, but he's not even a doctor, right? He's just acting. So what happened? Exactly, the student, because he was confident, because he had a lot of confidence when he spoke. All right. Let's go to the next one here. So read the questions below and choose the best answers to the question. Which sentence best summarizes the main argument in favor of having students grade their teachers, sorry. So which option would that be? A, B, or C? That's right. Students should be allowed to share what they think of their teachers. So I want to make it good. I want to give my teacher a score, and I have a voice. I'm allowed to say what I feel like saying. Which sentence is a supporting argument? what could support the C one? This, from the number 1 question. For the main argument you choose. So which one that be? That's right. I am teaching you guys and you guys know me better. Students best know how good their teachers are. Who knows me better than you guys? No one else except you guys knows me much better. Alright, which sentence gives a good supporting example? So we got number 2 here, the supporting argument. Now we need an example that could strengthen number 2 question. And we're going to choose here B. Students are the ones in their classes and know how their teacher perform. Like I mentioned, you guys know me so much better and you guys know how I perform in class. Now, we're going to choose here the counter argument, the opposite of what we want to say. Alright, so the opposite of the argument for number 4 is which sentence is the best counter argument against the opposite team, against the other side. So that would be C. Experts do not know if grading by students is the best way to measure teachers' ability. So according to experts, they think that students aren't the best choices to grade, to measure, to calculate. So measure means to calculate. We don't know what is the best option, and we think that students aren't the best way to measure teachers, to calculate teachers. Alright, so let's go here. Students should be allowed to grade their teachers. What do you guys think? Students should grade teachers for sure. Like 100% they think. Yes, they agree. Teachers need to be graded, and students are the best people to do it. Students learn from their teachers for many months. They know exactly how well their teachers teach and how much their teachers care about them. Other adults who try to grade teachers cannot tell these things just by watching 1 or 2 classes. Schools need to trust their students to grade their teachers well. What do we have here? So, Cindy states that students know how well their teachers, teach. Very good. And how much they care. Very good. About students. Alright, let's go to the second one here. Letting students grade teachers is a bad idea. Alright, so he thinks the opposite way. He doesn't agree with Cindy. So, students are not mature enough. So what does it mean, mature? Mature. Mature means someone is responsible. But they think they are not. So not responsible. Students are not mature enough to grade teachers. They do not know which teachers are the best. For example, students would not like teachers that makes them work hard and learn a lot. So they would not give them fair grades. On the other hand, so the opposite way, students would give high grades to teachers who do not actually teach. So, why should you guys give high grade teachers, good grade teachers, for a teacher that doesn't even teach you? Because of that, they think they're gonna play in class. If you give a good grade to a teacher, you think they will perform like you're gonna watch movies or do activities in class instead of learning. Actually teach and let the students play during classroom. Evan says that students are not, that's right, mature. Are not mature to give good teachers. So here we're going to write fair or high. Fair or high grades because they want to know which teachers are the best. Fair or high? Alright, so let's organize our thoughts here. Now, let students grade teachers. Which one would that be? So number one would be grading by students is more accurate than other types of grading. That'd be that one. And so here are, so we think that students should grade teachers. And what could be the supportive argument is grading by students is more accurate, so more specific than other types of grading. So you guys grading me is better than someone else grading me. What will be the second one? No. Which one do you think this one is? That will be the other one. Teacher will give information that helps them be better. Yeah, for sure. Teachers will get information. I'm going to get information that will help me be better. So we have here the first and the third one. Good. Now, do not grade teachers. Don't grade teachers. Why? What could be supportive to them? So here is, I'm going to write it down. Most students would not That's right. Most students would not grade their teachers seriously. If a student is angry because of their, they don't want to work, they don't want to learn, then they're going to give a poor grade to this teacher. Exactly. Let's go to the other one here. Students will give unfair grades to teachers. We can write which that or they don't like. That's another one here. Students will give unfair grades to teachers they don't like. Well, let's say I don't like the person behavior for absolutely no reason. Well, I'm going to give them a bad grade. Is that fair? Right, it's not. You should always measure or give a grade to a teacher based on their performance. Great. Alright, so as a for your homework, I want you to think about here. Students should be allowed to grade their teachers. I want you guys to put your argument there. Do you agree or disagree? If you agree, write down below under this question. You have lines here. And I want you to write your supportive argument and supporting examples. That would be your homework there. Make sure you also prepare yourself for a debate. I would like you to check if you agree or disagree. Now, the main argument is either students should be allowed to grade their teachers or students should not be allowed to grade their teachers. So, give or take would be agree or disagree. Please write down your supporting argument here as well, all right? So your homework would be this page, following to the next one, and I want you guys to write an essay, and the essay is should students be allowed to grade Alright, so this is, ask yourself this question here. Should students be allowed to grade teachers? Agree or disagree? This is part of your next week writing essay, as well as the other 2-page that I mentioned before. So, thank you for listening for this lesson, and I will see you to the next Unit 3 on next class. Bye.